House will come back to order. House will come back to order. Mr. Clerk, you want to ring the bell? Okay, Chair got a little over optimistic over how long it would take all the paperwork to get ready, but we are ready to go now, and all of the paperwork that you need, the calendars, copies of the bills, and everything are out back of the chamber, out back of the gallery, out back of 341. Go ahead and be getting those. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privilege resolutions.
Honoring the life and memory of George Albert Gaines, Jr. Recognizing, commending Sig Samuels Dry Cleaners. Recognizing March 22nd through 28th, 2021 as World Doula Week. Recognizing and commending Donna Marie Butler Harley. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. We had one bill left on the earlier supplemental calendar, and that was Senate Bill 255. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 255.
Senate Bill 255 by Senator Mullis, the 53rd Gooch, the 51st, Miller, the 49th, Dugan, the 30th, and others, being entitled an act to amend Chapter 34, Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to the One Georgia Authority Act, so as to provide for a grant program to support border region retail and tourism projects. This bill having referred to the Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Stevens to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, Senate Bill 255 creates the Border Region Tourism Development Program, which should be administered by the One Georgia Authority to support border region retail and tourism projects. Under the current law, the One Georgia Authority is there to promote the health, safety, and economic security of rural citizens in Georgia through the development and retention of employment opportunities in the rural areas, and enhance these infrastructures and to accomplish this goal. What this bill to create this Border Region Retail Tourism Development Program, which is a mouthful, and to award grants to help them in competition. There's several things that this bill would require for you to do before you could use one of these grants. And it would be the number and types of jobs to be created, the total private capital investment. You'd have to provide the impact to the state, the regional, and community tax base. It would require the degree of local commitment for skin in the game. In the bill, it originally had a circumference around the state to be within 10 miles. We changed that to be within 25 miles of the border. Mr. Speaker, this will be administered through the One Georgia program, and the Governor and the Commissioner of Economic Development must approve these before the grants are awarded. This is in addition to a statewide tourism development program that we already have. And recently we've had cities like Claxton, Douglasville, Jeff Davis, Toccoa, Noonan, which is where Great Wolf came, is another program for the development of these areas. I hope that you'll support the program and support Senate Bill 255, and if there's no questions, I'll yield the well.
You have a question if you care to yield.
I'll yield.
Chair recognizes Representative Meeks up in the gallery to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I yield.
Just for clarification purposes, does this program only relate to the counties that are approved as a One Georgia recipient under their current resources?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I yield the well and ask for your favorable consideration.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? The chair hears none. The Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 255, the ayes are 157, the nays are 6. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 235.
Senate Bill 235 by Senator Watson, the 1st, Cowser to the 46th, Harbison the 15th, Kennedy the 18th, and Goodman the 8th. Be entitled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to offenses against public order so as to revise the offense of wearing a mask, hood, or device which conceals the identity of the wearer. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes the chair of the Judiciary Non-Civil Committee, Chairman Burchett, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm a little bit out of breath. I just took the trip from up in the gallery and I was running a little bit late. So this is a fairly quick bill here. Currently in the state of Georgia, it's illegal to wear a mask. And if you look around at each and everybody in here, we got a lot of lawbreakers in here. So what this bill does is it makes it legal when there is a pandemic or a scenario such as the one we're in now to wear a mask, and that's all the bill does. It makes it legal to wear a mask in a case where we have a state of emergency and we have a virus like we do have now. And with that, I'll yield the well for questions if necessary, Mr. Speaker.
Do you yield for questions?
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Representative Erica Thomas to your left for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it not true that the reason why we had a mask mandate while it was illegal to wear a mask is due to the Ku Klux Klan?
I don't know if that has any relevance to this this statute here. What we're doing here is making it illegal to wear the mask that you're wearing currently.
Can the gentleman further yield?
Certainly.
Again, to my point is, in history of America and the history of this state capitol, which was built on my forefathers that built this, but that was not able to even come into this capitol, even though they built the capitol, that this mandate, we hope, was because of the Klan wearing masks and because of people running up to you in a robbery situation. And I yield.
Well, as I understand the law as it's written now, it's for concealing your identity in the commission of a crime. So I'm going to have to leave the rest to the lady.
Do you further yield?
I do.
Chair recognizes Representative Wynn to your left in the gallery.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the chair yield?
I don't need to yield. You need to ask the gentleman in the well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does the gentleman in the well yield?
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that this bill wouldn't have any prohibitions as it pertains to religion and the wearing of something like a burqa.
As I understand it, the federal law gives many protections for religious rights and wearing of a burqa. I think you and I, or actually Representative Lopez and I have discussed this at length, and I don't believe this bill touches that in any way.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
With that, I'm going to yield the well, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 235. The ayes are 166. The nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 60.
Senate Bill 60 by Senator Thompson the 14th, Albers the 56th, Mullis the 53rd, Robertson the 29th, Payne the 54th, and others, be entitled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 5 of Chapter 9 of Title 45, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia State Indemnification Fund, so as to revise when indemnification shall be paid in instances of a heart attack, stroke, or vascular rupture. This bill having referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Gravely to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring to you Senate Bill 60. Very quickly, several years ago in Paulding County in Hiram, we had a fire. All units responded, and a man by the name of Kevin Van Dyke, longtime firefighter in our community, aspirated during that fire, had a heart attack. Had firefighter Van Dyke passed away, his family would have received no death benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, we have firefighters and public safety personnel across this state that go out and put themselves in emergency situations day in and day out. One of the firefighters returned back to the station, undoing his gear, had a heart attack and died. That was not covered in the indemnification. All SB 60 does is that connects us, ties us to the federal, matches us to the federal indemnification fund, where if a firefighter or public safety personnel in this state has a heart attack, a stroke, or vascular rupture, within 24 hours of that type of rescue situation or imminent danger situation, that their families would be able to benefit from the indemnification fund. Mr. Speaker, I will yield for questions.
You have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection to the previous question? I'm sorry. We have another speaker. Yes. I didn't mean to overlook you. Chair recognizes Representative Kemp to speak to the bill.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. This bill could be called Lieutenant Bobby Patrick Bill. My brother-in-law was a firefighter in Gwinnett County, and on April 14th, 2003, he went to a fire. He was on the roof of the fire, and he had a heart attack. Sadly, his team was unable to revive him. But because he passed away because of a heart attack, the Georgia State Indemnification Fund did not pay his family anything. He had been a firefighter for almost 30 years. I stand here in support of this bill because that $150,000 would have made a world of difference to his family. So I ask for your support on this bill. I yield the well.
Lady has yielded the well. Now, is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does the rules chairman rise?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Rule 133, I ask to be excused from this vote.
Gentleman has that right, and the journal will so reflect. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 60, the ayes are 167, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 78.
Senate Bill 78 by Senator Jones, the 22nd, Anderson, the 43rd, Heller, the 40th, and others to be entitled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 3 of Chapter 11 of Title 16. The official code of Georgia annotated relating to invasion of privacy so as to revise the prohibition on electronically transmitting or posting nude or sexually explicit photographs or videos. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Tyler Paul Smith to present the bill. Representative, please speak where I can understand you, okay?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. I will try to enunciate the best I know how. Mr. Speaker, members of this august body, I come before you again, bringing to you the rule substitute to SB 78. I just want to say on the forefront, I appreciate all of the staff members that have worked to make sure that we iron this out right as it should be ironed out, and appreciate the use of our commas. If you don't believe that commas make a difference, well, I can assure you that they do. This bill is actually amending our code dealing with the uploading of explicit content on adult entertainment websites that show explicit material. This bill would actually put more teeth in our statute for those that would upload or transmit these explicit materials that they receive without the consent or approval of those sending it to them and uploading it to an adult entertainment website or a medium that is used to upload this kind of explicit material. For that offense, you would now be charged with a felony under this bill, while we still keep in the statute the misdemeanor offense. For the misdemeanor offense, that would cover conduct as far as, or for an example, someone receiving something via text, explicit material, and then transmitting that explicit material to another person's phone, a Facebook post, Instagram post, or even Snapchat or Instagram. So I bring this before you today. We needed to put some more teeth in this statute. It was a little bit vague as to what material this would cover, and this specification has been a great addition that I hope that you all support with your yes vote. And Mr. Speaker, I'll yield for any questions.
You have a question if you care to yield.
I'll yield, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Setzler to your right for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
So just to be clear, this keeps the penalty of misdemeanor if these pictures are shared with just friends or people. But if you load it into a commercial website where hundreds of millions of people can see it, that's what makes it a felony, correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. Note that the misdemeanor is still a misdemeanor of a high and aggravated nature. That's not just your regular misdemeanor. This is an increased misdemeanor penalty. And then the felony provision, you have to have the intent to upload that material to a website or a medium that actually does this for a living.
It's advertised, they do it for a living.
Advertisement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With that, I ask for this body's favorable consideration, and I will yield well.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to withdrawing the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is withdrawn. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? The chair hears none. The Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 78. The ayes are 169, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Senate Bill 95 was on the calendar earlier today. It failed to receive the requisite constitutional majority. This House reconsidered its action in failing to give that bill a constitutional majority. It went back to the general calendar and is being called at this time. The clerk will read Senate Bill 95.
Senate Bill 95 by Senator Ginn to the 47th, Beach to the 21st, Alpers to the 56th, Senator DeVarde to the 31st, Kirkpatrick to the 32nd, and others to be entitled an act to amend Title 50. The official code of Georgia annotated relating to state government so as to provide conditions for meetings and public hearings. This bill then referred to the Committee on Government Affairs. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Alan Powell to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen. First, I do want to thank everybody for giving me an opportunity to bring this bill back to you to be sure there was no misunderstanding about a lot of this thing. Bottom line, this bill passed with pretty good numbers the first go-around. When we came out and went through the process, we did raise the commission to the lottery. But what this building is really all about, ladies and gentlemen, is about putting some teeth into the management of an industry that serves a state. A lot of people have different views about this industry, but this is not gambling, because gambling is the paying out of cash. And that's the one thing that we've always tried to do in this, in trying to move forward to control this industry, to take that human element of violating the law into paying out of cash. As I'd said earlier, that we put certain criteria in there that both the retailers and the masters, that they'd be able to give, or they would have to give more credentialed information to the lottery so they could scrutinize these operators even more. We also did the gift cards, and I've talked about this time and time again, but the gift cards, once upon a time, they were able to do gift cards. And at that time, a lot of the cash payouts went downhill considerably. Now, what that gift card does, and I'll say this again, it takes the rationale away from any retailer to pay out cash. And what it also does, it brings in, supposedly will bring in more monies into the coffers of the lottery, as well as to these retailers and the masters. But also, it'll bring in a ton of money into the state sales tax coffers, quite frankly. So, you know, these are the things that this bill does. But most importantly, what it does is it helps to increase the rate for where the lottery will be getting more money, and it also makes a cleaner business out of it. That, Mr. Speaker, is what this bill does, and I would certainly appreciate your favorable consideration for this bill.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to withdrawing the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is withdrawn. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? The chair hears none. The Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Representative Paris rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State
Speaker.
your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, does this bill not say to us that these COAMs are a definitive drain on our communities? You can't sweeten this issue, and that we just need to outlaw them altogether. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Thank you.
Lady is certainly entitled to that opinion. What purpose does Representative McLaurin rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that the public meetings topic is too far away removed from the coin-operated machines topic for this bill to be constitutional under the constitutional mandate that bills have the same subject matter?
I think that's something that each member will have to form their own opinion about. What purpose does Representative Saines rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that I reviewed if there's been any bills that have passed to eliminate this system, and there has not been this session, and this is the only bill that rectifies a system that doesn't allow Georgia citizens who take part in this to use their winnings for productive purposes like the lottery, and that we have our taxpayers pay for a great legislative council who would issue a statement saying if something's unconstitutional, and they have not?
I'm sure the gentleman believes that to be true. All right, we're going to go ahead. Has all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 95. The ayes are 100, the nays are 67. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 81.
Senate Bill 81 by Senator Mullis, the 53rd, Miller, the 49th, Anderson, the 43rd, Dugan, the 30th, Walker, the 20th, and others, be entitled an act to amend Code Section 2437 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Office of College and Career Transitions and Powers and Duties, so as to change the name of the Office of College and Career Transitions to the Office of College and Career Academies. This bill has been referred to the Committee on Higher Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Chairman Martin to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll try to be brief. The hour is late. Senate Bill 81 comes to you out of the Higher Education Committee. It does, in section 1.3 of the bill, it seeks to change the name of the Office of College and Career Transitions to Academies, and later in the bill, update that again, and on line 68, add technical skills needed to work. Basically, we're trying to get Georgians ready to get into the workplace. In addition, this bill has in section 1-1 and 1-2 and 2.1 the contents that passed this House on February 11th that were at that time called House Bill 67, the university carryover language. That those items passed 171 to nothing. The only thing that's been added to that language is additional reporting language. That is, I draw your attention on lines 24 through 30, and again on lines 39 through 45. So this is the original bill, very simple bill out of the Senate to rename the College Office of Transitions to Academies and to place House Bill 67 on there so that we make sure we take care of the universities as this House did on February 11th, 171 to nothing. If there are no questions, Mr. Speaker, the hour is late, and I'd ask the House's favorable
No
consideration.
questions.
Thank you.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? The chair hears none. The Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 81. The ayes are 164, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. It's about time again. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 100.
Senate Bill 100 by Senator Watson, the 1st, Dugan, the 30th, Kennedy, the 18th, Miller, the 49th, Hour, the 48th, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to state government, so as provided that this state shall observe standard time year-round until such time that as Congress authorizes the states to observe daylight savings time.
Chair recognizes Representative Cantrell to present the bill.
Colleagues, I want to apologize that we're having to spend more time on this subject. Unfortunately, the Senate made light of the bill which we sent to them a couple of weeks ago, House Bill 44, which would have taken Georgia to permanent daylight saving time pending congressional approval. So, Senate Bill 100, which they sent our way, has now been substituted with the language of House Bill 44 that we passed out of this chamber a few weeks ago. which would take our state to permanent daylight saving time pending congressional approval. A couple of things. The Senate has recognized the error of their ways. When they passed SB 100, the outrage was tremendous because most people prefer permanent daylight saving time over permanent standard time. In fact, Politico did a nationwide survey just a couple of weeks ago, primarily about President Biden, but in it they slipped in a question about daylight saving time, and the margin was over 5-1, people preferring daylight saving time over standard time. And I want to remind this chamber that if our state does not pass this bill and Congress gives the states the ability to make this decision, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Arkansas will all go to permanent standard time, and Georgia will be the odd man out. So I want to encourage you to vote for this bill again, as you did last time, and let's send it back over to the Senate. I'm told that they have recognized the error of their ways, and they will agree to the changes that we have made to their bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be happy to yield for questions if there are any.
Do you yield for a question?
Certainly.
Chair recognizes Chairman Petrie to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, I just want to be clear. In the original version of SB 100, it was a step to daylight savings times, first through daylight standard time, or through
standard time. That's
standard
correct.
time. Will you make it clear that this bill does not move us to standard time?
That's accurate. The Senate bill moved us to permanent standard time until Congress gave us the approval to go to daylight saving time. The bill that you see before you today has changed that, to be clear, to move us to permanent daylight saving time pending congressional approval, once the Congress gives us the authority to do so. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. What purpose does Representative Mitchell rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that the majority of letters I received about this legislation come from parents who are concerned about their children getting on the school bus in the dark in the morning?
If the lady so states. Have all members now voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 100. The ayes are 111. The nays are 48. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. We have two supplemental local calendars, two of them. One of the bills on the supplemental local calendar, it's on local calendar, supplemental calendar number 2, relates to homestead exemption and requires a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. If there is no objection, we will vote on both the supplemental local calendars together and as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read both supplemental local calendars.
Senate Bill 209 by Senator Jones, the 10th, DeKalb County. Senate Bill 295 by Senator Gooch, the 51st, City of Cleveland. Senate Bill 297 by Senator Miller, the 49th, Hall County. Senate Bill 275 by House Substitute by Senator Thompson, the 14th, Bartow County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on both the supplemental local calendars? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on both of the supplemental local calendars will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the supplemental local calendars, the ayes are 137, the nays are 24. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. The chair recognizes Representative Williamson for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 150.
Representative Williamson has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 150. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 150 by Representatives Williamson of the 115th, Hatcher of the 150th, Kelly of the 16th, and others be titled an act to amend Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to public utilities and public transportation so as to prohibit governmental entities from adopting any policy that prohibits the connection or reconnection of any utility service.
Chair recognizes Representative Williamson to explain the Senate substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Senate simply added a clarifying language that this bill also included heating oils that are principally used to fire boilers that run circulating hot water through homes, and also to businesses that use boilers. Some of them are fired by what I call home heating oil, but it's just heating oil. So that's the essence of the change. Importantly, on lines 25 and 26, it says nothing in this code section shall limit the ability of a governmental entity to choose utility services for properties owned by such governmental entity. So, Mr. Speaker, that's what it does. I'd be happy to answer any questions or yield the well for your favorable and ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no questions on the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 150. All those in favor, opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 150. The ayes are 107, the nays are 52. The gentleman's motion has carried, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 150. What purpose does Representative Saines rise?
To make a motion.
State your motion.
Motion to waive the rules so that a bill can be read and referred to committee.
On the clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Resolution creating the House Study Committee on Geographical Distribution of the State Employee Workforce.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee. Is there objection? Is there objection? Chair hears none, and it is so ordered. Industry and labor. All right, we're going on now to announcements. First of all, we have birthdays. Tomorrow will be the birthday of Chairman Matt Dubnik. Happy birthday, Chairman Dubnik. And it will be the birthday of Representative Pedro Marin. Happy birthday. Now we're going on to announcements. Chair recognizes Chairman Allen Powell for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the members of the House Regulated Industry Committee, we haven't sent out a notice, but expect a notice for tomorrow. We're going to have a short meeting to move a bill forward in the committee or resolution. So if y'all would, please check your emails and check into the office tomorrow morning. We probably won't have it before lunch. So that way, if you want to take a nap. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hatchett for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Majority Caucus will meet tomorrow at noon. Lunch will be served. Tomorrow at noon, Floyd Room, Twin Towers.
Senate Bill 115 will be postponed to the next legislative day. Senate Bill 164 will be postponed to the next legislative day. The chair recognizes the majority leader of this House of Representatives for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I have a motion in my pocket that I've been waiting about 38 or 39 days to use. Should I use it now?
Don't tempt me.
I understand. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, March the 31st, 2021.
The majority leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Wednesday, March 31 at 10 o'clock a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. It's a close call. We may put it on the board. Actually, we won't. The ayes do have it. This House will be adjourned until Wednesday, March 31 at 10 a.m.